My name is Trey Kepsel and this is Elk Motorsport. I'm doing this short video to answer a question to one of the comments about the air compressor that I'm running on my Suzuki Samurai to power my air horn. The air compressor is, I actually got it secondhand from my brother-in-law. It's just like a cheap Chinese permanent magnet electric motor air compressor built into a tank. It's actually designed specifically for an air horn system. I got it, it didn't work. What I think happened to it was poorly grounded out and it had a short inside. I actually had to take the motor apart and I had to pull one of the magnetic brushes off because it was seized. I cleaned it up with a Dremel with a copper wire wheel to get all the smuts off of it, and I got a little spring kit from Home Depot, measured the other spring, cut it to length, put it in there, freed it up, and it worked. I wasn't expecting it to, but it was free, so. And then I bought another air horn because the trumpets that he had were like 4, I only wanted 2. I was very limited on the front of the Samurai. The cylinder head portion of the little electric motor, the pump, it was leaking, so I had to buy like, it's like a one-way valve. It's not DOT regulated, but it's a one-way valve. It allows air to flow one way and not back the other, so that way it wouldn't leak through the cylinder head. And I got those DOT quick disconnect fittings, and I ran, it's not vinyl hose, because vinyl hose will actually seep out, and that's what was with it. It's like poly hose or something. You can get them, you can get it, all the aftermarket places online sell it, but I actually bought it from Lowe's, I believe, or Home Depot. Either place sells it. But I'll give you all a little quick rundown of the setup and how it runs. So there is the air compressor. I had it powder coated blue, and I was actually able to get the nitrous sticker off of eBay, and I stuck it on there just for effect. But this back here, this portion is actually the part that houses this air compressor. Inside here is a little permanent magnet electric motor, which is not the best type of electric motor, because the whole idea behind a permanent magnet is every time you use it, the magnets lose a little bit of their charge and the motor gets weaker and weaker and weaker with each use. And then inside here, the shaft connects to what is essentially a crankshaft. There's a rod and there's a piston. The piston goes up and down. On the back side, this little black piece right here is the actual intake for air. So it's kind of, I guess, like a 2-stroke design. It gets air, it gets compressed in here, and then it comes out this tube. This is that one-way valve, and then it enters into the tank. This gauge was just to monitor pressure drop that I had. I got this from Harbor Freight, I believe. This is your pressure switch. It ties into the ground side of the motor. Whenever the pressure reaches a pre-designated PS, activates this switch and breaks the ground connection, turning the motor off. And then here's that quick disconnect fitting, and this tube runs down back behind the washer bottle. You can see it right there. Comes back around, runs down. You probably can't see that, it's too dark, but it runs behind that bar all the way, then drops into the air horn. And then if you look down in there, the way I have it wired up, I actually have a relay powering it. And then of these 2 switches, this outside one is my fog lights and the inside one is actually the power for the air compressor. I didn't want it to be just kicking on whenever it dropped pressure down low, so I can actually cycle it on and off. So I don't have to worry about pressure drop, it just kicking on in the middle of the night and killing my battery. And then I actually wired up a Deutsch Tech connector that's waterproof. So essentially the foundation, wiring wise, is there for doing like an ARB compressor. This motor and air compressor setup definitely probably can't run air tools. I mean, it's only a 1 gallon. May be able to run an air locker. I don't think they use a lot of air pressure. I don't know, I'd have to do a little bit more research on that. Well, Glenn B, I hope that answered your question. I'm not sure if that's what you were looking for as far as the air compressor goes, but that's the setup that I'm running. Like I said, I do have the wiring foundation for an actual ARB air compressor. When I wired it up, I had that intention in mind. This was just something that I thought would have been silly. I just thought to myself, well, if nobody's gonna see me and my Samurai, they're gonna hear me. That was kind of the whole idea. So it was kind of like this joke, and that's why it's got a nitrous label on it. A lot of people see it and they think, what, that Samurai's got nitrous? That's all that is. I wanna thank you for the question, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.